My brother got married while I was in surgery after a devastating injury, and my family blamed me for ruining his wedding. Now they're angry because my relatives found out the truth, and no one is speaking to them. A couple of years ago, I was involved in a devastating accident that has forever changed the course of my life, and by extension, my relationship with my family. It was a freak incident, one of those things you never think will happen to you until it does. I fell off scaffolding while working at a part-time job that I had taken to pay off my student loans. I ended up breaking my spine, my leg in 3 places, and a couple of ribs. It was bad, really bad. I went through multiple surgeries and a long, painful recovery process. But what hurt me the most wasn't the physical pain, it was the emotional pain I endured from my family. You see, my accident happened 2 days before my brother's wedding, a wedding, by the way, I'd planned to be the best man for. My parents had always adored my older brother, Mike. He was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong. And honestly, I didn't have any issues with that growing up. I was used to being the one in the background, the one who had to make way for his success. But when the accident happened, I guess I expected more from my family than what I got. The accident occurred while I was on the job, trying to help out with last-minute wedding expenses. I had taken a temporary gig at a construction site. Nothing too dangerous, I thought, just a few weeks to make extra cash. But during one of the shifts, the scaffolding collapsed, and I plummeted several stories to the ground. I was rushed into emergency surgery, and things were touch and go for a while. Here's the part that gets me. My parents knew about the accident almost immediately. They were called by the hospital while I was being prepped for surgery. And what did they do? They stayed at the wedding rehearsal. My mom literally told the doctor they couldn't come because it was 2 days before my brother's wedding and they had too much to take care of. At the time, I was slipping in and out of consciousness, so I didn't know what was happening. It wasn't until later that my best friend, who had been called by the hospital, told me that my parents and brother had basically chosen not to come to the hospital at all. I spent the first few days after the surgery completely alone, aside from my friends, who stayed by my side as much as they could. I was in an insane amount of pain, both physically and emotionally, because I couldn't understand why my family wouldn't even bother to show up, even just to check on me. When I was finally lucid enough to make phone calls, I tried to reach out to my parents. They didn't answer. I left messages. I texted. Nothing. I didn't want to ruin my brother's big day. I knew how much his wedding meant to him, and I wasn't asking them to drop everything and be by my side 24/7. I just wanted some acknowledgement, some sign that they cared. But instead, they made it clear that the wedding was more important than my well-being. Fast forward to the wedding day. I was still in the hospital, recovering from surgery, when I got a voicemail from my mom. She basically said, "Hey, sorry we can't come to the hospital. Mike's wedding is today, and we can't be in 2 places at once. Hope you're doing okay. We'll check on you in a few days." That was it. My brother never called. My dad never reached out. They all went on with their lives like nothing had happened. The worst part? I found out later that my brother knew about the accident the whole time and had told my parents that he didn't want any drama on his wedding day. Drama, that's what my life-threatening injury was to them. Drama. I spent weeks in the hospital. I had to relearn how to walk. The physical therapy was grueling, and every day, I felt more and more abandoned. My friends were the only